And we're back. Welcome to episode 2, everyone. And we're going to start off by killing this chicken. Got to make sure we bury the bones. And it's time to cook that raw chicken. Oh, looks like we burnt it first time. Not exactly what we were looking for. Now, it did say to cook a cooked chicken on the chunk picker map, so I'm assuming that that means I'm going to need to actually cook a chicken properly first, and then burn it on purpose by cooking it again. So let's keep on killing some chickens until we're successful in actually cooking one. Okay, got a couple this time. Hopefully we can actually cook one. There we go. And we get level 2 cooking out of it as well. Let's just cook the other one whilst we're at it, and yeah, let's burn this one. Now we know for sure that we've completed the chunk challenge, and we'll drop them over there in our pile of burnt chickens. I do feel a little bit sorry for the chickens because they didn't necessarily deserve to be murdered just to be burned and dropped on the floor, but I'm just going to try not to think about that. And here we are on our chunk map. We can now tick off that challenge, cook a cooked chicken. And it's given us access to some new chunks to roll. Magrubba's Wood, Sorcerer's Tower, and it looks like this sort of chunk just above our dome there, which has a farming patch. I think that's about it. Let's roll that chunk. What are we going to get next? There are a few options, and it looks like we've got Glariel's Tomb, which is the Moss Giant chunk. A few different tasks here, most notably in the skill task column we've got 33 magic for telekinetic grab, a few best in slot tasks as well as some collection log tasks from those Moss Giants. Now the big question I'm asking myself next is, can I even kill a Moss Giant at my current level? I'm not sure if I currently have the stats, so I might have to train up a little bit more. Otherwise it was just going to be a very arduous process. And here we are, walking into our new chunk for the first time. You can see the Moss Giants there on the left hand side of the screen. There's the House from the Waterfall quest, and then we've also got access to a shop now. We've got Rasolo, the Wandering Merchant, who does have a Dragon Dagger in his inventory for sale, but alas, in order to purchase that and use it, I have to have completed the Lost City quest. So that's a useless buy for me. Also, he sells 5 spinach rolls, which heal 2 HP each. The barrel of ale heals like 13, I think, and gives some sort of boost. I'm just going to buy the grey boots and the blue wizard hat once I have the money, because those are 2 required challenges for best in slot items. The hat being a best in slot mage item, and the boots giving me a new best in slot defense bonus. And then over here we've got someone fishing by the looks of it, as well as those Moss Giants, which by the red text of their level sort of indicates that I'm probably not ready to be facing them right yet. But I've got to give it a good try first, just so I can confirm my suspicions. So let's go. And the immediate 6. Humbling. Time to run away. Yeah, that Moss Giant definitely showed me who was who. So I guess for the time being, my best bet is to train up on these goblins, on the guards, or on the bats in the Dwarf Cannon chunk up there. I don't see a better alternative. I could flinch the Moss Giants, but at my current stats, that's just going to take absolutely forever, and I really should be training up, and will need to train up for future goals anyway, so I see this as a time save in the long run. I think I might have enough for the hat, not the boots yet, from Rasolo, so I'll just buy that now. Not that it really helps me with my mage bonus, but it means that I can tick it off of the chunk picker list. So let's buy one of those. There we go. And before I give up on trying to kill at least one moss giant quite yet, I think that I might as well try and stack up a full inventory of food and see if I can somehow last against one moss giant, even though chickens do only heal 2 HP per food, which is, well, it's absolutely awful, but maybe that will give me a little bit of an edge and I'll be able to take down one moss giant. My logic here is that if I can luck out one of the good drops from the moss giant's drop table, like the mithril sword or the mithril spear, then that will help me with future kills. So we'll see if we can do that. Oh my god, look how many chickens I am burning. This is awful. This is embarrassing. Actually, I retract that. I think that I would also burn quite a few chickens if I was asked to cook like 20 of them all at once. So, you know, fair enough for at least cooking 5 of them. There's quite a few more cooked chickens now, and one burnt one, which I've decided to keep in my inventory for no reason. I thought because I didn't show this to you guys last episode, I'd just show you what's down here in case you were curious. So I've got some giant bats here, the same ones that we get in the dwarf cannon chunk, but I think they're maybe 5 levels higher, as well as some skeletons over there. But the kicker is that I can't actually open either of these gates because I haven't started the requisite quest for it. There's also a staircase down here, which the room below is part of the quest line, but if you haven't started the quest, it just says it's a bit too dark, and it makes you go back. So nothing to be done down here. And also the bats are the same as the bats in the dwarf cannon. They don't have anything on their drop table other than their bones. So I had a little crisis of faith. I absolutely failed at trying to kill a moss giant with those chickens, and I decided that I was just going to get 30 strength in case having a higher max hit helped me. This is probably a good time to explain what I feel like the plan should be next, and I think that 30 strength is the start of my attempt to get 30 in all of my combat stats, so that'll be attack, strength and defense. My logic for this is nice even number. Maybe if I can get my stats up that high, I'll be ready to face down one of those moss giants and maybe even kill one. There's 23 hit points and 10 attack. These goblins really must regret coming across me. And there's 15 prayer, which is another level. I've been burying as many of the bones as I can be bothered to as I'm killing these goblins. And 15 attack. Once I'm finished with this level 30 grind, I think that I'll show all of the goblin kills that I've got. I won't show them as I go along because it's just going to be too boring having that appear up all the time, but rest assured I will show the kill log once I've finished off getting 30s in all of my combat stats. Somebody asked me in my last video actually why I kept the Iron Man set, and I wish I had a really good reason for you. I just thought that thematically it kind of made sense. You know, I'm an Iron Man, I'm chunk locked. I wanted to be able to show off the fact that I was an Iron Man, and I didn't feel like it was game breaking or challenge breaking because the bonuses that it offered doesn't really scale very well into the late game, but it just helps me out a little bit for the first few levels. But yeah, I can see an argument for not taking it because it's technically not within the chunk. Actually, no, I think about it, there are two other corrections I need to make. The first is, yesterday I said that I was considering putting the Book of Knowledge in my bank. That was helpfully pointed out by Mr. Mulchman, that you can't put lamps or Books of Knowledge in the bank. Also, on that note, go and watch Mr. Mulchman's Chunk Locked series. It's really, really good. The second thing that I said last video was that I didn't consider the javelin's legitimate range training method, and of course I was right, but for completely wrong reasons, because I was assuming that they were the throwable items, but no, those javelins are fired out of the ballista, so even if I wanted to train range with them, that's not something that I could ever have done. Another milestone coming up with my next hit, I think. There we go, there's 20 attack and also 150 total level. Definitely think I should have enough GP to buy these grey boots now off of Rosolo, so that'll be another best in slot item. I think they're 1000 GP. Let's have a look. Yes, they are indeed 1000 GP. There we go. So let's switch out those beekeeper boots that I got off of random events earlier in the account. I'm just going to drink that beer now and save on some inventory space. 2 red capes on the floor. Both are completely useless to me, but I thought that might be a little bit interesting. Looks like I just missed it, but there was 25 attack. Just 5 more levels to go training that. And once I've buried these bones, I should have 20 prayer. Here we go, one more hit. Please land. Okay, maybe not quite yet. Maybe I need to kill one more. How about you? And there we go. 30 attack. I can move on to defense now, and 22 levels, and then I'll have 30 in attack, strength, and defense. 1 or 2 more hits, and I should have 10 defense. Look at these guys. They just like running away from me, don't they? There we go. 10 defense. Looks like I just missed it again, but there's 15 defense, also a total level of 175. One more hit, there we go, 25 defense, 5 more levels, and then I'll give another shot at trying to kill a moss giant. Just missed it again, but there's 30 hit points. Unfortunately forgot to record, but as you can see from my chat log, I had the maze random, which gave me a lot of useless things, some iron arrows, feathers, and perhaps the best, the fire runes, which I didn't get from the chest in the middle, but one of the ones around the outside. Lovely to see everyone congratulating me on 200 total. Massive achievement, just kidding, but hopefully it's the start of good things to come. And coming up in a second, we should have 30 defense, which will give us base 30s in strength, attack, and defense. I'll also be putting up my loot log on screen now, so you can see quite how many goblins I've had to kill to do this. On any other account, this would have been, I don't know, a couple of hours, but when you've only got goblins to kill, it really does take quite a long time. Oh dear. It was bound to happen at some point, wasn't it? I stupidly thought about starting to kill a moss giant, and then I can't explain why I went AFK. I had something else that I was doing in real life, and when I came back, I was dead. So I'm trying to figure out what I should be doing here. I'm going to have to run through some locked chunks, which sucks, but I have seen this happen on other accounts, so this was just always part of the risk of picking a chunk where there wasn't a spawn point set. I'm wondering also, so once I get out, yeah, the time starts counting down from 15. And I'm trying to figure out how I get back. I think the closest would be to teleport to Barbarian Assault with the minigames teleport. So let's try that. Of course, I can't do that because I need to do the BA minigame tutorial, which of course I can't do because I haven't got that chunk unlocked. So this is future New Ghost recording here. At this point, I'm just absolutely bricking it because I've got 12 minutes left on my timer and I'm thinking, am I even going to make it back? I decide that I just need to make a decision quickly and so I end up going towards Draenor with the idea of getting to Port Sarim and maybe being able to teleport nearer to Ardown from one of the charter ships. What I didn't think about was that obviously I have no money, so there's no way I can charter any ship, and of course I can't make any money outside of my chunk because that would be cheating. But New Ghost of the time doesn't think about this and bravely decides to keep on running anyway. At this point I see the prices and I think, okay, I can't make it there in time, so I decide that I'm just going to do a Hail Mary. I'm going to run through Falador, back over White Wolf Mountain, which, if you recall from last episode, was how I got to the Fishing Guild chunk to begin with, and just cross my fingers and hope that I make it in time. This feeling that I'm sure every old school player has experienced at some point, the gnawing fear of knowing that all of your items are on the ground somewhere, and if you don't get them to them in time, then they will despawn, and you'll be starting from potentially square one, which wouldn't be very good for me. I made it over White Wolf Mountain, 5 minutes left on the clock, and I realised that I might actually just make it. And in the distance I spy the beautiful sight of chunks that are actually coloured in and not greyed out. So I'm back here at the Hemenster chunk, and with just under 4 minutes on the clock, I realise that I am definitely going to be able to make it back. The only thing now that I have to worry about is whether or not I can retrieve my items, which are currently sat in the middle of the moss giants. There are the moss giants, and there's my gravestone, so quickly run through, take them all and get the hell out of there. As you can probably see, I'm missing my Iron Man armour, which doesn't persist through death. I think I have to pick it up from the Iron Man tutor again. Obviously didn't have time for that, so it looks like I'm back to effectively square one as far as my armour is concerned. I've got the wizard hat, but I don't have any plate legs, plate body, or sort of armour providing helm anymore, and I'm left with only these items. However, as punishment for my indiscretion, I've decided to part ways with all of these runes that I have acquired. I just feel like, obviously it was inevitable, and these things do happen, but it was also my mistake, and I should have been a bit more on the ball. So to remind myself not to do it again, I'm going to forfeit all of the runes that I've picked up, and at least that way I'll have some sort of sad memento of my death. Let's hope it just doesn't happen again. Listen, I'm nothing if not stubborn. How does that phrase go? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. But they didn't say anything about fooling me 3 times, so I'm going to try a third attempt at killing a moss giant. This time I'm definitely not going to go AFK whilst I kill it, so I'm going to stock up on some chickens and give it my best go. Full inventory of chickens, and thanks to all of the runes I dropped, I've actually got a lot more chickens. Also 10 cooking, as you can see there. This is also my way really of showing anyone watching this video kind of what it looks like to actually try to go toe to toe with these moss giants, considering I didn't even film myself dying to one the last time. So moss giants have very low defense, and there isn't one style that's better than another when it comes to trying to kill them. The only consideration that you really have when picking a style over another is that aggressive styles will give you a slightly increased chance to hit, but also they use crush as their form of attack. I don't have any crush defense armor except for the bronze square shield, so as you can see, I'm giving it my best go, but 15 HP and I've already eaten quite a few chickens. It just doesn't look like I'm going to be able to do this. I'll keep it up until I've eaten all of the chickens at least, and then we can see quite how far away I am, but I don't think that this moss giant is going down somehow. So it definitely looks like I had some beginner's luck, because I did get it down about 15 HP at the start, but it hasn't gone down much further since. And I think I'm just going to bail, because this fight is only going in one direction, and it's not the direction that favours me. Let's have a think about what I want to do next, and try and figure out how I'm going to get these drops off these moss giants. So just decided to go back to killing goblins whilst I thought about my next steps a little bit more, and with all of these bones I should be hitting another prayer level. There we go, 25 prayer on the account. Now I know what you're saying, New Ghost, are you stupid? What could possibly have changed? Nothing. Nothing has changed, but sometimes if you run into a brick wall enough times, something does happen. Now that something might be brain damage, but I'm just thinking maybe I got unlucky with the RNG, maybe I can give a better fight to this moss giant this time. I went and cooked another batch of chicken, and we're just going to see what happens. Getting closer. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but I'm not saying it's not going to happen either. Maybe we can get a little bit lucky here. Oof. Not if he keeps on hitting 4s. No, please stop hitting 4s. 4 HP left. If I get this kill, it's going to feel like a real achievement. Because at least then I know that, as inconvenient as it has been to kill and cook all of these chickens every inventory, at least I can get a kill on a moss giant in one-on-one combat, and I might not need to resort to either flinching or leveling up my account from killing a load of goblins. There we go, we get the moss giant kill, and a whole lot of nothing. An irrit leaf and some big bones. But the real victory is the fact that I actually managed to do it. So I guess maybe I'll just try doing that again. I don't know what to do with this information, to be honest. Part of me thinks that maybe it is a little bit too inconvenient to be having to cook an entire inventory of chicken every time I kill a moss giant. At that point, maybe it's just more convenient to be flinching them. In any case, there's 15 cooking. Nope, that footage isn't going to see the light of day. Another very embarrassing failure. I'm still alive somehow. Oh my god, is that royalty? I've just been visited by Duke Hawkins and Lady Hawkins. I feel blessed. Did somebody say new meta? So these kegs of beer cost 500 GP each. They heal for about 15, and they also give you a slight strength bonus as well as reducing your attack level temporarily. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to be a good idea to be buying these constantly. I don't even think that I could afford to with the GP that I'm able to earn. But let's just give it a try. See how much this can actually do in a one-on-one fight. As you can see here, it makes the screen shake a little bit when you drink it, and it also means that you miss a couple of attacks because of the animation. I mean, doesn't really look like it's going to be something that I can profitably use to kill several hundred moss giants, but it was worth a try, at least. Doing a bit more combat training, and I think No. There we go. 35 strength. And just missed that, but I got another Freaky Forester random. There's the Lederhosen shorts. So I think that means that I have something for the leg slot now. Just got a Molly random, and she's given me 4 uncut diamonds. I've also got a spinach roll there. And I think that this will be the end of this episode. I know it seems like it's been an episode of real failure, but I think it is emblematic of the sorts of highs and lows that you're going to get when you're doing a Chunkman account. We did actually unlock a new chunk, which I think is good. We got a couple of gear upgrades in the blue hat and grey boots from Rasolo, and we did a lot of levelling as well. Speaking of, there's 29 prayer. Just want to say at this stage, thank you so much to everybody who watched and showed support on the last episode. I really do appreciate it, especially to those who left comments. I read through as many of them as I could, and it's just nice to see everyone being so positive. I think we've got, there we go, 40 strength coming up there, which means we can now wield rune warhammers. Don't think that there are going to be any of those dropping from the goblins anytime soon. But yeah, it's never easy to start on a new project, especially when it's something that you really don't have a lot of experience in. As I said last episode, I'm not a whiz at editing videos, but there are a couple of things that I'm going to be looking at improving on, perhaps the editing as well as some of the sound. I know that a couple of people mentioned last episode that the sound mixing was a little bit rough, so I'll be trying to sort that issue out. I think I will also try to start recording my videos in fixed mode. Some of my favourite content creators in the old school RuneScape community do that, and I think that the only reason that I didn't do that to begin with is just because the way that you see it now is the way that I tend to play the game, but I can see how fixed mode lends itself a little bit more nicely to recorded format. You might not see those changes for the next couple of episodes, and that's just because I decided that I was going to record a lot of my content in advance. You never really know when your grinds are going to forestall any interesting content, so I thought it was probably best for me to get a little bit ahead of the curve and record some content before I uploaded my first video, which is why, again, if you want to check out my chunk picker map, then by all means do so, but you might spoil a little bit of what's to come if you are invested in the video series. So watch for those tech changes that I will hopefully be making, and you should be able to see that implemented in future videos. The eagle-eyed amongst you will also notice that we just hit 35 hit points there, as I am chowing down on some roast chickens and spinach rolls and trying to get another kill out of these moss giants. I just chugged that second keg of beer, and it looks like maybe that's going to get me over the line. What are we going to get from this moss giant? Steel bar. Not particularly useful. I don't actually think it sells for that much to Rasolo either, so I might end up just dropping this. So thank you all for watching. I think this is where I'm going to leave it for today. Although it might not feel like much has been accomplished, if you're anything like me, then I think that you might find some enjoyment from the problem solving aspect of these restricted chunk locked type series. I do just tell myself that if quick progression was the goal, then I could easily have just bought a bow and safe spotted these moss giants a long time ago. The more that I'm thinking about this, the more I'm thinking that I'm probably just going to have to flinch these moss giants, which isn't really what I wanted to have to do, but when needs must, we might end up doing that. Next episode we'll make a real concerted push to get as many of the tasks in this chunk done, so that includes all of the drops from these moss giants, as well as trying to hit 33 magic so that we can cast that telekinetic grab that is required for the chunk. If you enjoyed this video, then please do leave a comment, like, subscribe, any of the above or none at all if you prefer. I really do like hearing from you though, so any comments that you do have, just leave them and I'll try and get around to reading as many as I can. See you next time.